Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to today's presentation. My name is Conan, and today we're going to be talking all about cardio. So, in the previous modules, we talked about your entire workout program, resistance training, building more muscle, shedding body fat. Whereas now we're going to talk about cardio because I think a lot of people neglect their cardio. A lot of people don't think about cardio when they think about building more muscle or losing more body fat. They just think about their diet and their workout routine. But a lot of people tend to neglect their cardio, and I just want to start by saying this. Your heart, and it always sounds cheesy, but your heart is the most important muscle group. And so if you don't take care of it, if you neglect it, that's not going to be a good thing, right? And so let's just jump straight into it, guys. So first things first, what actually is cardio? I'm sure you guys have heard what cardio is before, but just a quick little run through or like a scientific term of what cardio is. So cardio is basically short for cardiovascular exercise, and it refers to any activity that elevates your heart rate and promotes the circulation of blood and oxygen throughout your body. It primarily involves activities that engage large muscle groups in a rhythmic and continuous manner. So a couple examples of this include are walking, running, cycling, swimming, sports, playing any type of sport. I grew up playing soccer, so I used to grow up like running a bunch, short distances, long distances, sprints, plyometrics, all that fun stuff. So those are a couple examples of like what cardio includes, and we'll talk about what the best modality or the best form of cardio is for you based on your goals. But that's just a quick little run through of what cardio is. Now let's talk about the importance, because like I said, it does tend to get neglected by a lot of people. So the first reason why, and I mentioned this as well, is heart health. Your heart is your most important muscle, and the cardiovascular exercise strengthens your heart, and it also improves its ability to pump blood and also reduces the risk of heart disease, which is really, really important. Like, don't take this lightly, guys. This is super serious. The second thing here, especially if your goal is weight loss or fat loss, regular cardio will help to burn more calories, which will aid in weight loss or weight maintenance when combined with a good proper diet. That's another important thing. Like, don't just think that, oh, I'll do endless amount of cardio, but then I'll just like have a really trash diet. Like, no, the two and two kind of go in hand. You can be on the best workout program ever, but if your diet, nutrition isn't on point, you're not going to see the results that you're looking for, right? And the exact same thing applies in the reverse manner. You can be on the best, let's say, diet ever, but if your cardio and workout routine are not on point, you're not going to be able to see like optimal results. So the two kind of go hand in hand. You can't really have one without the other in order to see maximum results. The third thing why it's so important is your mood enhancement. So cardio releases endorphins, which is like the feel-good hormones, which can help alleviate stress, anxiety, and depression. I recently have been going on a bunch of runs lately, as you guys would know. Hopefully you guys know by now. And I'm currently practicing for my first ever marathon. So it's something I decided to do a couple months ago, and I've been just running a bunch lately, and I feel just super fit, super energetic all the time. And sometimes like I may not even feel like running, and I'm sure this is the same with like working out and stuff, but the feeling you get after doing like a hard task that you did not really feel like doing, or like after doing like a workout or especially cardio, like the runner's high, like it's an actual real thing. I never knew what it meant or what it was, because I heard so many people say like, oh, I get this runner high when I do it, or I get so creative when I'm going on my runs. And like I could never really relate to that up until when I started practicing for this marathon, because now I've like consistently been like on the road, just like running a bunch, jogging. And yeah, the runner's high is a real thing. I just kind of like get a lot more creative, especially if I'm like I'm stuck on like an idea. I can't really think properly. I'll go outside, I'll put on my running shoes, and I'll just like go on a run. Immediately afterwards, either during my run, I'll come up with an amazing idea, or as soon as I'm done afterwards, I'll just come up with a really good idea. So the mood enhancement in itself can definitely kind of like reduce your chances of maybe depression as well, because a lot of people, and really quick, I do want to kind of like side tangent on this. A lot of people, and I know this isn't any of you guys, but let's say Gen Pop, they'll claim to be depressed, right? And I don't know what the actual scientific definition of that is, but let's say they're depressed. But then when you look at their lifestyle, it's like, well, are you eating healthy? Are you exercising regularly? How's your sleep? How's your stress levels? Like, are you optimizing all these things? Because I can guarantee you, people that are depressed aren't doing any of those things consistently. I have not once met a person that's in shape, eating healthy, sleeps a lot, and reduces their stress levels that is depressed. Like, it's really, really rare. So if you just tackle the fundamentals and tackle the basics and just like take care of your own health, you'd be surprised how much mental clarity and just like mentally how much it kind of like impacts you. So that's an amazing thing, mood enhancements. The fourth thing is improved lung function. So cardiovascular activities enhance lung capacity and efficiency. So this is super ideal if you just kind of like want to live your life and not be out of breath after walking the stairs, or just walking around, playing with your kids as well, right? Like that's super, super important. Obviously you want to like be able to like be there for the big occasions. And if your cardiovascular health is not up to like at least the minimum level, it's going to be really difficult for you to like explore the roads, travel, and just like do the fun stuff that you want to do, right? Health is wealth. Without proper health, you can't really enjoy much of life, right? Now, the last thing here is your increased energy levels. I would alluded to this previously, but over time, cardio can boost your overall energy levels and combat fatigue. Going back to like you won't be out of breath anymore, and it'll just like naturally give you more energy. Like if you naturally are a more fitter person, you're more in shape, you're more fit, you're just naturally gonna like be wanting to do more things, right? Like, oh, let's go on this hike today, let's play soccer on a soccer field, let's go on this run, let's be spontaneous, let's do all this stuff, right? Whereas if you're a lazy couch potato, you probably don't want to like play that sport or play with your kids or go on that run or go on that hike, go on that road trip, whatever it may be, right? Now, there are different types of cardio. There's three main ones. So the first one, we'll go through them one by one, is low intensity steady state cardio. A short acronym for this, you may have heard this online before, it's called LISS. So LISS, low intensity steady state. Now, this could include any form of like walking, leisurely cycling, and gentle swimming. So any activity that's like low impact and like pretty easy. Like you see most older people do this, like they'll usually like go on like walks and stuff because it's very low impact and almost anyone can do it. And that's a great thing as well. Like if you guys are kind of like new to this and you're not really like in the shape that you want to be, starting off with like a low intensity type of cardio is a great way just to kind of like get your body moving and kind of like get started. And then from there, you can like work your way up to doing more of a higher intensity training or higher intensity cardio. So like I said, this is amazing. This is super suitable for beginners and also those recovering from injuries. So if you're going through an injury right now, this is also a great way just to like still be active without putting too much wear and tear on maybe like your muscles and your joints that are recovering. The second one here is moderate intensity cardio. So this includes brisk walking, not just at a slow pace, but at like a pretty brisk pace, jogging, and steady cycling. Now this is more challenging and it does enhance your cardiovascular fitness a bit more than the low intensity cardio. Now lastly here, guys, is the high intensity interval training, otherwise known as HIIT training. This is probably the most popular one. I guarantee you guys have heard this on the internet before, on YouTube, Instagram, people showing like their HIIT workouts. And basically what this means is that you're alternating between short bursts of intense activity and periods of rest of lower intensity. So an example of this includes is maybe you go like all in, like let's say you want to like do like sprints, you go all in for let's say 30 seconds and then you rest for about a minute. So you sprint for 30 seconds and then you just like walk for a minute. And then you repeat that anywhere from about 5 to 10 times based on your cardiovascular health. As an example, you could do the exact same thing on like a bike, either a stationary bike or like a real life bike where you like go super hard for like 10, 15, 20 seconds and then rest for like 30 or 40 seconds. Then you repeat the process. So short bursts of high intensity interval training is basically what HIIT is considered. Now, the ultimate question is how much cardio should you do? So there's a couple of recommendations. This is from the American Health Association. They recommend at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic exercise or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity exercise per week. So this isn't per day, don't worry, this is just per week, along with some muscle strengthening activities on 2 or more days a week. So this is super doable, hopefully, for most people. If you really just break it down, this means like going on a walk every day for about 20 minutes, something like that. And a good little tip for you guys here is that try to prioritize it. So same way you would prioritize going to work, clocking in and clocking out at work, try to really like prioritize like your health and try to prioritize like doing some form of cardio. Because if it's not a priority for you, if it's not written down in like your calendar or it's not like on your to-do list, whatever, like you can very easily forget about it, especially if it's not like already ingrained in your kind of like day-to-day lifestyle and if it's not a habit yet. Because for myself, and this isn't to brag, just is just me stating facts, but like it feels weird for me not to like do my workouts and not to like get outside, get some fresh air and get my steps in, or to go on even on my run now. Like it used to be a really big struggle for me to like put on my running shoes and like just kind of like mentally prepare on going on my run to practice for my marathons. But right now, because I've been doing this for like a couple months now, I'm just kind of like in a routine of like, yeah, of course, like this is what I do. Like every Wednesday, every Friday, every Monday, I go on my run. It's just part of my routine. It's part of my schedule. I block time out of my day to do the thing. So I have no other choice but to actually do the thing, right? So that's a nice little hack for you guys there. make sure you kind of like slot a time in your calendar to actually do the activity that you know you should be doing, but you probably haven't yet. And over time, guys, the more you do it, the more you kind of like get used to it. And then eventually it'll turn into a habit and you won't have to like really prioritize it anymore because it's automatically just like mentally in your brain a priority for you. Now, a couple best practices here, guys, is you don't want to hurt yourself while trying to better your cardiovascular health, right? So it's really important to warm up prior to doing any type of cardio, especially the high intensity interval training, because you'll see a lot of pro athletes who will tear their hamstrings after doing like short bursts of like sprints or something. So don't just like wake up on like a cold winter morning and then just jump out of bed and just immediately go for a sprint. It's like, please do not do that. I love using this analogy, but basically pretend like your muscles are almost like a noodle. So when you first buy noodles, let's say it's linguine in the box, it's almost like this pencil, right? It's like if you were try to like bend it around and like maneuver it and stuff, it's going to snap, right? I'm not going to snap my pencil, but you guys get the idea. It's going to snap, right? Whereas if you put the noodles into boiling water and you cook it until it's al dente, and then you take it out of the pot, you rinse it, whatever, and then you try to bend it and maneuver it, it's a lot more elasticy, it's a lot more bendable, and it's not going to snap, right? And so almost like view your muscles the same way. If you, when you're cold, so when the pasta is cold, when your muscles are cold, try to like do some extreme activity of like sprinting or like whatever it may be, biking, the chances of not actually your muscles breaking, but like pulling a muscle, something like that is going to be, the risk of that is going to be a lot higher compared to if you were to boil the pasta, do a warm up, afterwards your body is a lot more malleable and a lot more just like able to like it's more mobile, it's more flexible, and it's able to like go through all this activity without actually getting hurt. So really important to do a warm up. And then after you're done with that, progress gradually. So if you're new to exercise or changing your routine, start slowly and gradually increase the intensity and or duration. So for example, for myself, when I first started practicing for a marathon, I only went for maybe like a 20-minute run just to start, right? And I didn't go at like a super fast pace, but over time, month after month, session after session, because I log my time now, I try to like just go at a faster pace. I try to run a longer distance now or whatever may. It's almost like progressive overloads. Like you're not going to like step into the gym on day one and immediately just like bench 3 plates right away, right? Maybe you start off with like maybe a plate. If that's like your kind of max right now, then week after week, month after month, and year after year, you just like progressively overload, add more weights, add more reps until eventually you kind of hit to your desired goal. The exact same thing applies with cardio, which is a cool kind of like thing to keep in mind. And now the third thing here is stay consistent. Like with anything in life, consistency really is the key. It's the name of the game here. Aim for regular weekly sessions to experience the full benefits of cardiovascular exercise. I see this far too often, especially in the workout scene. People will say like, oh, I had an amazing week of workouts this past week. I'm like, okay, awesome. So how's this week going? Oh, well, I haven't really been that consistent. Like I've kind of like been like, I'm too busy. I got this homework. I got this project for work. I got all this stuff. I got this date night, whatever. It's like, okay, well, one good week out of like 52 weeks out of the year, like one good week is not going to like make you into like Ronnie Coleman or Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's like doing the boring work. It's like doing the actions consistently over an absurd amount of time if you want to see absurd results. You get out what you put in. If you only put in a small amount of effort, you're pretty much just going to get either nothing or just a small amount of results from that. So really, consistency is the name of the game here. I would so much rather you guys just be consistent and not really follow like a super optimal cardio routine over having like this super optimal cardio routine that you're only able to stick to once like every other week or like once a month, right? So really keep that in mind. And the last thing here, after you're done doing your cardio session, especially the high intensity stuff, is a cool down. So finish each session with a cool down to gradually lower your heart rate and prevent muscle stiffness. Now, to conclude this presentation up with you guys, remember that individual needs and preferences do vary. So it is essential to tailor your cardio routine to your specific goals, fitness level, and any other like medical considerations, right? And now lastly, I do have to say this. If you have any health concerns or pre-existing conditions, consult with a healthcare professional before starting any new exercise program. And one last thing that I forgot to mention to you guys is what I prefer doing. So of course, I'm going on my runs now for practicing for my marathon. But if I were to like not do that, and this is what I did previously to practicing for my marathon as well, and that is like just going on walks. Like that is my favorite form of just like being active. I track my steps every single day as well. Like it's a pretty healthy thing to have around 8,000 to 10,000 steps every single day, just as like a baseline. It's just a great way to kind of like get some sunlight. What I like to do is I'll grab my headphones as well, guys, I have them right here, and I'll have a couple podcasts lined up as well. And a quick little hack for you guys is that if you don't enjoy doing cardio, highly recommend just by starting with going on walks. Like, it's the easiest thing. Anyone can do it. Anyone has access to it. You don't need the treadmill for it. You don't need a membership at the gym. All you have to do is just put on your shoes and literally hop outside and just like either walk around your block, walk around the streets. If you have this cool park next to your house, walk around the park, wherever you may want to walk, go ahead and do that. And as you go on your walk, if you really just like dread going on your walks, have a couple podcasts lined up. I think podcasts are such a game changer. There's so many different topics. If you're into fitness, you can listen to like either my podcast, shameless plug there, or you can listen to maybe like some other podcasts, maybe more like comedy type of stuff, or politics, or news, or like, their possibilities are endless. I used to listen to like this soccer analysis show where they like have like daily podcasts about like the newest trends and the newest news in the soccer world. I used to be such a big fan of that. So I always used to like look forward to their podcast every single day. And I made a rule to myself that I could only listen to their podcast if and when I was actually going on my walk outside. And that's the only way I could. So if you want to like do something that you don't really enjoy doing, try to like reward yourself for doing the activity. So the reward for myself was being able to listen to that podcast. But I could only do it if I did the boring work of actually like getting outside and getting my steps in. So that's a quick little hack for you guys. There's a bunch of different ways to be active, improve your cardiovascular health. There's no right or wrong answer here. Just again, do it based on what you enjoy and based on what your goals are. So with it out of the way, I'm going to let you go. If you do have any questions for me, as always, just let me know and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.